Hello, this is Deborah Carmona here, and I'm doing another segment on sock bunnies. This time I'm going to focus on making the ears, shaping the ears. I'm using a piece of felt cut out of pink to sew on the piece of, it was a toe, it has a seam here. I do not stuff the ears at all. When we put the piece of felt on, that's also going to add some stiffness to the ears. See how the ears stand up very nicely all by themselves? There's no stuffing in here whatsoever. If you just sew this straight on, flat, it's going to stand up really straight. But if you actually wanted to curve it, if you you might have to trim off, and I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to trim off a little bit more and make this a little bit shorter, because I want to, the sock fabric is stretchy, so I can sew it on like that, and then the ears will have a slightly curved shape. I use a pink thread. I'm just gonna take little stitches, and every once in a while I'm gonna pull the pink up just a little higher. The gray fabric will conform. It's a stretchy knit because it is made out of sock material, and that will help to curve the ear a little bit, and that just gives a little more character to the bunny. It seems like every bunny I do, it turns out slightly different. It also depends on the socks that you use. When I use a crew sock, the bunny's heads are bigger. See, this one, he's got a really big head, but I think it looks good for a baby bunny. I'm doing that. I did that one for my grandson Daniel. This one, he's a lot taller and thinner bunny. He's made from a tube sock, a men's tube sock, and so his face is a little flatter and he's skinnier, but he's taller because I had plenty of fabric to work with. And that is from my grandson Lincoln. And this one is, I stuffed it a little bit more. It's still made with a men's tube sock, but I stuffed it a little bit more so his nose would stick out better. And this is for my grandson Sawyer. And then I do have the female bunny, which I don't have a basket for her yet. I think I'll give this to my granddaughter Elena. Since they're all getting the snow bunnies with sweaters and hats, and the sweaters and hats take a lot more time. But I want to dye some reed, because I dyed some blue reed on the baskets for the boys. And since these two are going to brothers, I thought they should have a different color. So that's got brown round reed, and this has got blue flat reed. So that way they have two baskets that are a little bit different. And these are not your typical Easter baskets. These are actually berry baskets. They're made for picking berries. They have a solid bottom, so you don't, and it's very well enclosed, so you don't have to worry about little berries falling out. So I thought that would be a little bit more practical. That way they can have a basket that they can keep using any time of the year. And so I'm doing that for Easter baskets for my younger grandchildren. Now I have a different plan for the older grandchildren. It's much different, because I don't think they would appreciate the little sock bunnies because they're older. But yeah, today I'm finishing up this one, and this is going to be for Damon. And he was made out of I guess it's a tube sock. Yeah, it's a tube sock, but I did stuff his face a little better so it sticks out more. And the sweater is made from an ankle sock. Now, normally I take the leftover socks, like this is the toe of the sock, and I made a hat out of that. And all of these are the toes. All of those are made from the toe. But because of the way this sock is designed and that white spot, I don't think this would make a very good hat. So, and he's all neutral colors, gray and black. So I'm using this variegated yarn. It's got green and brown and black, and I think that's black, or maybe it's dark green. Well, anyways, these are neutral, so I thought that would work. So I might do his hat a little bit different, because I don't have I don't think I can make a good hat out of this. So since I've decided to use this color for his scarf, I think what I'm going to do, since I'm going to have to make his hat, I am going to crochet a hat, and because I'm crocheting it, I can leave little holes, and so I can have his ears sticking out through the hat, through holes in the hat, because I'll be making it. So I need to finish this up, and then I have to make him a basket, and his basket will look just like these. I'm doing these for the grandsons. Let me just get this sewed on here. I'm kind of pulling the pink felt as I go around. You can see how it's kind of curving naturally by itself. It's curving just because of the way that I'm sewing the felt on. For the older kids, I'm going to, I just have a big basket sitting in the center of my dining room table, and I stuck 2 of my Easter bunnies in it that I won't be giving away to the grandkids. And I have a bunch of eggs, and inside the egg I'm going to put something. I'm going to put a scripture verse and a little object to depict the true meaning of Easter, the Easter story. I have collected a list of potential items that I could use. See how that's naturally curling? Just because of the way that see, if I sewed it on flat right now, because I pulled this up high, it looks like it's short. But I'm sewing it so that it's going to naturally curve. That'll give a little more character to his ear. Okay, I'm almost done. I just sew up one side and down the other, tie a knot, and then we'll attach it to the ear. And I'll have to change threads to gray thread. Okay, so my last stitch, make a loop, put my needle through it. There's my knot. Okay, so there is our ear. See how it naturally has a little curve? And that's just because of the way I sewed the pink felt on. Okay, now to put it on, we fold it under, and I want the top where this part's going to be a little higher, and I want the back to be a little lower, so it'll fit on his head like this. But I don't want it flat just like that, because that just looks funny. So I prefer it to be pinched right here. I want to bring the pink together just like that, and we'll sew it so that the gray kind of comes over and covers at the end of it. And see, that's going to be a cute little ear. Okay, I've changed my thread to gray, and I'm going to start at the base, bringing the gray together. Go put my needle through the loop, and just going to bring the 2 ends together. Now part of that's going to be folded under, so I want to make sure it's enough. Guess I'm going up about a ½ inch, and then I'm going to sew back down just to make sure it's secure. Oh yes, I need to say one more thing about when I sewed the when I brought the 2 points over, that I show you how to do that in another video. I've decided to go ahead and stitch the pieces down so it just holds it pretty well. And most of the time when I put the hat on, you don't see those little seams right there. They disappear with the hat. And I am sewing the hats on. The hats are sewn on so they don't come off. And sometimes I do put a little bit of stuffing in them if they need it. This hat will probably be a little stiffer because I'm going to be crocheting it. So I probably won't need to put any stuffing in it. Okay, so I'm ready to attach my ear. And you have a lot of stretch in the back. Sometimes it's a good idea, because there's a lot of thickness right here, to just trim it just a little bit. Okay, now I want to fold this end down, and we're going to pin it on Sometimes it's hard to get the ears perfectly straight. I like to use the pins with the big ends on it. And then we want this to be a little lower. Sometimes getting the ear position just right. Sometimes I'll, like that one is slightly turned funny. This one's a little more straight up. Her ears are kind of sticking out that way, and so is that one. His ears are a little more straight, except one's crooked. I think his ears turned out pretty good, except one looks like it's turned that way. It's really hard to get him just perfect, but hey, you know what? It's handmade. They're all not going to be exactly the same. I decided to go with the sweater snow bunnies for my grandkids rather than going with the tutu and the little Easter vest, because, well, those are, I can easily make up for other people, but these with the sweaters and hats and scarves, they actually take a little more time. So I thought I would give those to my grandkids, because I really don't want to be making all of these for everybody. I don't mind doing the little bunny with the tutu. That one's pretty quick and easy to make. Okay, I'm just taking little stitches as I add that on. And you may have to adjust it as you go. I like to pull it out on the back. I want it to be sort of rounded, and sometimes it's difficult to get it pinned exactly right, but you can manipulate it as you are sewing. Just make sure those raw ends are tucked underneath, and put your stitches closer together. I hope that light I have here is not too bright. I like to use my special light that has daylight, because actually my eyesight is really bad and it's getting worse all the time. So I need to have good lighting when I'm doing stuff. But I try to keep it so it doesn't shine into my eyes, because I find that it does make my eyes tired. It's more strain for me to look at that. But as long as the light is on whatever I'm doing and it doesn't shine in my face, I'm fine. Okay. Sometimes you can take the end of your needle. If your little ends stick out, you can just kind of push them under with the side of your needle to keep those ends. Okay, it looks like it's going on straight up, which is good. I mean, it has a little bit of a bend to it, but it's not perfectly flat, which I like. And I do like to go around the ear twice, just to make sure that it's very secure. And then if I see a place where my threads are a little too far apart, then I can make sure I put a stitch in between those. So I'm just going to go around one more time, and then his ear will be on. And then I will work on his hat. And to finish off this bunny, and then I need to make the basket. I have the basket pieces already measured and cut, because after I dyed the reed, the blue, I cut everything and put all the parts in a, I have one right here. I have the blue dyed, and everything is here to make one berry basket. I have 2 more containers of this, and I just kind of organize it like that, so that when I have the opportunity, when I have about 3 hours chunk of time, that I can sit down and work on it, then I work on my basket. And weaving baskets is fun. Weaving is faster than coiling, because with coiling I like to be a little bit more artistic, whereas weaving you have to have a pattern. And I found a lady on YouTube, Nancy Jacobs, and she's a really excellent teacher when it comes to learning basket weaving. So I am subscribed to her channel, and I've made so far 3 of these berry baskets, and the first 2 I did it following her video, and the last one I did it completely from memory. So I've got this down, so I don't have to go to her video anymore unless I get rusty and forget. Then I can go back but I'd like to try some different patterns. I have done some of her other patterns too, and I want to try something a little bit more complicated. Once I learn the basics, I like to take a step up and do something a little bit more involved. You know what? You can never learn too much, and it's good for the mind. I think it keeps you young. Whoops, I caught on the eye. Okay. Hi, Carlotta. You know, my cats they always manage to sneak into my video. This is my only cat right now, Carlotta, and she wants attention. So she visits me when I'm busy doing something. She comes up to my drawing desk when I'm drawing or painting. Sometimes she tries to drink from my water, my paint jar water. Okay, I've gone all the way around twice. Now I'm just going to make a nut, and his ear is done. Now I just need to make his hat, and then his basket, so that I can give him as a gift to Damon. So I hope you found that useful. I do have several different videos. One about how to do the eyes, another video how to do the sculpting of the face. I'm not sure, but I know I've showed how to do this, the legs, and I've shown how to do toes, which this kind of has a rib on it, so I don't do the toes because these feet are smaller. And I have a different style bunny where the hands are down like this, and I show how to sculpt those arms for the boys. I have another video showing how to make sweaters, and the socks that I buy, I usually get them from the dollar store because I like their selection of socks. I look for stripes for boys, and this one, it just looked like, it reminded me of a snow sweater, so I turned that into a sweater, and I decided to crochet a little skirt. I wish I had used a thinner thread, but I didn't have access to thinner thread. All I had was this thicker. And this one is made from leftover yarn that somebody gave me. The lady who gives me a lot of leftover fabrics and sewing supplies and yarn. So I have a whole collection of yarn. I had just enough just to do this, of that one color. That's all that was left of that color. So that worked out. Okay, so subscribe. And if you want to find the other videos that show various aspects of making sock bunnies, please go click on my name. That will take you to my channel, and then look for the craft projects, and you will find a whole bunch of videos on various aspects of making sock bunnies. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.